Thank you for all of you to be here. I know that the lunch was an important period and you are here and it's really interesting for me. Then I will speak today under the umbrella of three institutional organizations. The first is FIEP, and then I would like to thank the organizer for the invitation. And then the new order is my university and the ISF that I have the opportunity to speak a little bit about ISF. And I'm coming from the University of Liège. Liège is in the French-speaking part of Belgium, Wallonia, and then you can locate the city in the country. And about ISF. ISF is the International Association for Physical Education in Higher Education. Our role in this association is to promote and contribute to the development of future specialists and researchers in the field of physical education and sport. And we are all concerned by this association. If you want some information about this association, if you don't know it, you can see the website here and you will have all information. Now I will speak about the purpose of my speech, and I would like to propose you an overview about four aspects. First of all, an insight of the literature about the specific topic of today, and after this, some models proposed to deal with overweight students and obese students in PE. The third part will be a presentation, a brief presentation of the studies implemented at the University of Liège on this topic. And finally, proposes you a perspective of development through collaboration between practitioner and researcher. I have only 15 minutes. I suppose that I can end at 35. We were a little bit.
No, in the morning you have 20.
Okay, then I need to go. Then the first part, we know we need to answer this question. What do we know about the topic? And then the first thing that what we know is that overweight and obesity is escalating global epidemic according to the OMS. And they speak about global obesity. And it means that this aspect is important for us working in education settings. Then the role of the school is emphasized because all children are going to school, because we have much time, they have much time at school, and because school proposes professional instruction. The school-based obesity prevention is based on curriculum, parent and family collaboration, because it's really important, and then with school environment and policy. And then, for example, you can see here that with the curriculum, the required of or modified PE courses are proposed. And in fact, what about PE against obesity and overweight? Then, firstly, Ken Altman said yesterday that PE is in a worldwide crisis, and many different publications propose information about this. Then, at the moment, we can see that there is an evolution of the teaching principle. Two of them are the physical literacy, and Ken spoke about this yesterday. Maybe he didn't mention so clearly accountability. Accountability is the effectiveness, the real effectiveness of PE teachers during their courses inside their units. And then we can see that PE mission and PE teachers' mission is changing at the moment. And more they are working from sport educators to physical activity promoters. And maybe we are going to one PE health education worldwide. More and more countries are proposing the curriculum, the health education, within physical education. But Harris, who was keynote speaker in the last international conference in Bratislava, last July, mentioned that pedagogy of obesity is missing during PE lessons. Then there is a debate between two conceptions about what the PE teachers have to do. The first option is that a specific approach focusing on overweight students are needed. Another vision is to propose integrated PE and health education. In the middle, you have the PE teachers listening to the researchers and educators, and maybe they don't know what to do. And we'll try to see what is happening with this. Some results from studies. The first is the green, positive aspect. Then some authors consider that PE is a solution to fight against obesity increases. That's good for us. On the contrary, on the opposite, PE as public relation programs in regard to how obese and overweight students are treated. And in the same way, you can see that some PE teachers develop an anti-fat attitudes and generate some negative reaction to the pupils. Then back to the positive aspect, and PE teacher trainees consider that they are ready to deal with overweight and obese students in their class. It was in Spain. In other contexts, in the US, for example, Lucavina and collaborators demonstrated that it was possible to create an environment of inclusion. Okay, now the second part, the models, and I just focus on two models. The first one was proposed by Harris again, colleague from Belgium, and she calls it pedagogical model for health-based physical education. And you can see here that the component of this, of course, the plan for teaching. It's our role. We have to develop very effective way to teach. And it means that we need to work on specific learning goals for overweight and obese students. We need to work on the subject matter that deal with these people, with these students, and then use specific and positive teaching strategies. I already mentioned Paul Lucavina from New York, and he used a model, a methodological model, in order to organize the teaching strategies dealing with those people, those students with weight problems. And those here who are familiar with the ecological model will recognize the integral aspect of the community and society. Here you can see that school and family again need to be involved in each initiatives dealing with the program of obesity in teaching. And it means that the physical education teacher is not alone, and he needs to have the support of all actors. And the first actor is the student himself or herself. Okay. Then the third part of my presentation is the presentation of what we did since 10 years at the University of Liège. And then you have here the pictures of all students who work with me, and they have different stars. You can see in green, then they work in PE. If the star is in red, for example, it means that the two women there work with obesity in a health context. And one student here did his master thesis working in the leisure domain, but always focused on the problem of obesity and overweight. Then I would like to summarize some information, some findings, conclusion of several studies. And the first one was published in the proceedings of the last ISAC World Congress in the World Congress in 2006 in Bratislava. And the question of this presentation was do students' perception change according to their BMI? And I believe that one scholar here will present something in relation to this. And what we found was that, yes, the perception of competence, very important for motivation, and attitudes towards being, we spoke about this morning, decreased inversely with BMI. But we found also that the perception of the involvement, of the students didn't differ according to the BMI. And maybe this confirmed many opinions and declaration of PE teachers. They said, okay, it's not because the students are overweight or obese that they don't invest time and involve in the activity. The second research that I would like to share with you is one in which we try to answer to this question: how do the opinion of obesity specialists and PE teachers differ? And we compare finally a group of 10 experts in obesity and 10 physical education students, and they were speaking together. And they were interviewed separately, and we compared the answer. And then we saw that the PE teachers are not willing to contribute effectively to the fight against obesity. For example, out of the 10 PE teachers, only one was able to define the BMI, and it was so surprising. Then there is a need of collaboration between specialists in obesity and the teacher, because they were playing ping pong. The experts said, yes, the PE teachers know how to do, because they have education for this. And the specialist and the teacher said, no, I don't know how to do. The specialists need to help me. And then it was important to underline that this collaboration was to be implemented. And then we did it in the next step. And the question was what is the effectiveness of collaboration between obesity specialists and PE teachers? And then during that activity, we organized working group in order to help the PE teachers to develop some activities. And you can see here that they identified, the PE teachers identified 4 categories of problems encountered in their classroom with the overweight and obese students. And these categories concern the law themselves, the teacher, family and society, and school. After this, they went, after the discussion with the specialists, they went to the classroom and developed some action. And 6 categories of action were implemented by the students, by the teachers. And if you need to have more information about it, you will have all reference of this aspect, and you will be able to download the document and see the categories. And it was interesting that to notice that many of these actions were organized by pre-interactive decision before the teaching, and only 3 interactive kind of decisions were proposed during the PE lesson. Then the last research that I will share with you will be presented during the next ISF World Congress in Oakland in February 2014. Then, if you are not going there, you'll have a touch of what will be proposed. And then the first question would be, what are the problems that PE teachers experience, and how would they prefer to be taught about them? And then we have the information. First one, our teachers, we work with more than 500 PE teachers, and they identify that in one class they have 4 of overweight students and 1 out of 10 students who are obese, then it's quite urgent to do something. And then they write 20 programs that we identified earlier, and they selected and they write these programs, and you will have also the opportunity to see this list. And interesting information is that the top 3 tools that the PE teachers would like to have to receive more information about what to do is CBE session, then continuing professional development session, website, and education for capsule learning. Very short documents that they could use and would get summarized information. And then the second part of this research was to validate and to validate 3 pedagogical capsules. And then we used the process going through different experts. And then now the capsules are ready to be implemented into the classroom with the teachers, and it will be the next step for the next year with another master student. And then we can have a look here to understand what are these capsules. And it's a recto verso sheet of paper with different information. And these documents will be also available soon for you. Now, the perspective. I'll be back on time. Then, first, we have to implement the good practice and to share the good practice with the practitioner. And then, if we do it, the practitioner, physical education teacher, will be able to develop their own approaches as effective practice reflection. We don't have to propose them standardized activities because each situation is totally different. But we need to share with them different activities. And also, it's really urgent to make a link between what is done in the university during research and publish very high impact factors papers, and what the teachers are able to do. There is a need to communicating between research and the field. Then we need also to adapt our education setting, as well as in pre-service education than in service teaching. Then several pedagogical supports need to be developed. I proposed one, but the next step of our series of research, that we need also to develop all food for the practitioner. Then last survey, focusing on the problem encountered by the PE teachers, might be replicated in other national contexts. And then we had a partnership with Luxembourg, with Portugal, with Spain, with Brazil, with Romania, and here with Bratislava. Then we'll have more information to share in a comparative way. And that it would be interesting to improve, to increase this cooperation, and to share with professional associations like FIEP, like MBA. Then in conclusion, last slide, then researchers and practitioners should implement more collaborative projects. And as I mentioned already, I believe that we could collaborate. If you are ready, then do not hesitate to contact me like what you did. Then, if you are ready, I can go and show you. If you want to have a copy of this presentation of the slides, then just write the address here, then you'll be able to download the PDF copy of the presentation. It's all already on the web, then you can do it. And now I just thank you again for your interest. And if you have more, or if you have questions during the conference, it will be you. Thank you.